say goodbye to Bernie Sanders after his disturbing secret he desperately tried to hide just came out. During the 2016 presidential election, the country was introduced to Bernie Sanders, the independent senator from Vermont who really tickled the millennials' fancy with his promises of free health care and free education. Sanders also promised these impressionable idiots that the government would take care of them and that capitalism was the root of all evil. Oh, but Sanders was just getting warmed up with his blame game. This raging divider also slammed individuals who were successful and enjoyed a comfortable lifestyle. But Sanders really didn't practice what he preached, and what was just discovered should destroy his fan base for good. Sanders really struck a chord with the youth who are big fans of massive wealth distribution and higher taxes. Of course, many of us thought that no one would buy into this garbage, but boy we were wrong. In a survey that was taken last year, it actually showed that 43% of Americans under the age of 30 had a favorable view of socialism. So, while the millennials fawned over their socialist crusader, Sanders was actually making a killing. According to Sanders' latest U.S. Senate financial disclosure, he made a ton of money off these idiots. According to Breitbart, the 7 Days piece, published on Sunday and written by political columnist John Walters, states that a large chunk of that income came from a $795,000 advance for his best-selling book, Our Revolution. Sanders also got $63,750 for an upcoming book, Bernie Sanders' Guide to Political Revolution, a publication aimed at young readers and co-authored with Kate Waters, according to 7 Days. And Sanders received $6,735 in royalties for his 1997 memoir Outsider in the House, 7 Days reported. That's more than $865,000 for peddling his working-class ideas, Walters wrote. Not bad. Add in an additional $2,521 Sanders earned last year in royalties from his 1987 spoken-word folk album, We Shall Overcome. Senate rules do not require members to report their government salaries on their annual disclosures, but all rank-and-file members earn $174,000 a year. That, combined with the more than $878,000 Sanders reported in his filing, puts the Democratic Socialists' 2016 payday at roughly $1,052,000, 7 Days reported. And he actually made more, but it's uncertain how much more. In addition to his take-home pay, publisher St. Martin's Press paid all expenses on Sanders' national book tour last November and December, which took him to 12 states and the District of Columbia. Disclosure of the total was not required, and Sanders did not provide it. Then there's a batch of retirement mutual funds held in the name of his wife, Jane O'Meara Sanders, the 7 Days piece states, adding that while it's impossible to ascertain the exact value of the retirement funds, but they are worth somewhere between $192,000 and $815,000. In the liabilities category, Sanders reports he has 2 mortgages, one worth between $250,001 and $500,000, the other worth between $100,001 and $250,000. Sanders' most infamous real estate transaction, his 2016 purchase of a $575,000 lakefront home in North Hero, has been concealed behind an entity named the Islands Family Trust, 7 Days reported. In his Senate filing, Sanders discloses that he is a co-trustee in a family trust created when we bought a summer home. Even with all these financial facts, there could be more to learn if Sanders released his tax returns, which he did not. During his 2016 presidential campaign, Sanders released only a summary of his 2014 tax return. As the fact-checking website PolitiFact noted, of all the candidates for president last year, Sanders' releases are less extensive than anybody's but Donald Trump. In an April article published by Newsweek entitled Bernie Sanders Mocks Greedy Rich People, Is Also Rich, the news about his summer home purchase was reported. Sanders and his wife, Jane, recently bought a summer home in Vermont on Lake Champlain to add to their houses in D.C. and Burlington, Vermont, Newsweek reported. Local magazine 7 Days reported in August the Sanders family paid about $600,000 for the lakefront home in North Hero, Vermont.